What's up, y'all? It's Joey B. You know me. My name is echoing through the airwaves, through the audio halls. I host the Blind Knowledge podcast, and here we are right now. I also own and run blindknowledge.com. We got 22 active podcasts. We got 5 freelance, really talented content creators, including my buddy Omari out there in the Bronx, filming his very first full-length movie series, Romantic Something. He won't give me all of the deets, but stick around. We also got Solo Requiem is going to be brand new. TFTAK is coming back. Adam's going to be back. It's going to be great. And we also we have a visually handicapped podcast as well called Unseen Critics. We do look to support that cause, and hopefully we can find a cure for blindness. So basically, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have on a fine fellow. I'm going to ask him some questions. He's going to have some answers. There may be a rebuttal or two, and we're going to see how it goes. But I think it's going to be really good. So here we go. And Barry, welcome to the show, man. Do you want to introduce yourself for everybody?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Barry Coziahr. Got a bunch of different businesses that I run. My wife's a full-time author, and I'm living the life here in Clearwater, Florida.
Living the life in Clearwater, Florida. Collared shirt style. That's the way to be, man. That's the way to be.
That's right.
So, if someone was to ask you, what do you do? Well, how would you answer?
Sure. Yeah, I've got I got a few different businesses. I've got a marketing business. I've had my own marketing business for about 17, 18 years. And I've got two different virtual assistant businesses providing remote personnel from the Philippines. And then also my wife is an author, a full-time author. So I've got a little publishing business.
Nice.
She's doing great with her books.
Little publishing, little on the side kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I end up doing in my marketing business we end up in my virtual assistant business we end up helping authors because we gather a lot of knowledge from the different companies and businesses that we run.
Oh, sure, I'm sure.
We just pipe that right into other people's businesses so they can do well as well.
Right on. So you're down for the cause. If other people do well and you're able to help them do well, you do well.
Yeah. I mean, I got quite a background in nonprofit stuff. I've done nonprofit stuff for many years, and
really?
Now I actually have a little team of virtual assistants who are helping me with my nonprofits that I work with. And so
they're human assistants. They're not AI.
No, they're human people. Virtual
human people. Okay.
Remote. Yeah, my virtual assistants are remote personnel. So they're people that are working remotely, and so I've got guys that are helping me with my nonprofit stuff because I've got probably, I don't know, at this point I guess I have like 35 years in the nonprofit arena as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And are you originally from the Clearwater area, or did you just kind of venture down here?
I grew up in East Peoria, Illinois, and then I moved down to St. Louis, Missouri. Lived there for about 20 years. And then I've been down here in Clearwater for about 7 now.
Do you find that this area it breeds building businesses, or do you find that it can be maybe an obstacle because of how chill and lax it can be?
I don't know. I don't think that the area that you live in. Well, I guess that's not quite the case. I guess you can have oppressive governments and oppressive regulations, but beyond that, I don't think that the area you live in should be much of a factor. And it's really up to you, right?
Yeah, I'm learning that. Like, I'm from the Boston area originally, 15 minutes south of Boston, born and bred. Hustle and bustle, go, work hard, play hard. When I come down here, though, I just want to relax. Down in St. Pete, I just want to put my feet up. But I'm learning that, you know what, I have to have that same mentality no matter where I am, and just stay hungry and just enjoy the journey.
Yeah, it's good to have a schedule. It's like
yes, definitely. Calendars are good for sure.
Yeah, having a schedule. I have a schedule. I get up. I have a good routine. I get up. I I go out and exercise for a good hour, or sometimes an hour and a half in the morning.
I'm learning that is like just getting out, going outside for a walk, or going for a run on the elliptical, or getting the heart rate up is so beneficial.
I do not touch my phone or electronics for the first thing in the morning, right? I stay away from that. And so I go outside, get some space, get my head together, and then I come back and I get busy.
Find zen.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I come back, get busy. I jump in, and then I work till a certain time, and I try to end off, because then I go spend time with family. And I got my time for, personal development on the weekends, and a good schedule.
That's beautiful. And you get to make that schedule yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
That's really, I love how you said that. That's right, I do. Damn right I do. And I love that. And I'm learning that it's so important to have a work-life balance. It's important to have those moments where you need coaching. Like I've taken on some coaching myself, just to get more influences from others, and that's something I'm learning in the entrepreneurial pool and field. Even people that aren't into digital media so much, everyone kind of wants to help everyone, and everyone kind of learns and grows from everyone a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's pretty cool. But Barry, the big thing we want to discuss today is virtual assistants, right?
Yeah.
So what's the big deal? What's the word here?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just tell you my story. It's like I had I worked in. I told you I was working in nonprofits for about. I was in the nonprofit arena for about 15 years, and then I decided I needed to make some money, right? And I mean, a decent amount of money.
Sure.
And
gotta live.
Because nonprofit is what it is. You're not doing it. I mean, I still do it today, but you don't do it. You don't do it for the money. So I started a business with my wife, a marketing business. She's great as a graphic designer, web developer. She does all that stuff. She's copywriting, everything. She's like a one person show. Basically, so I had 2 full-time jobs. And so one of my one full-time job was my nonprofit work, right? 40 some hours a week.
And what was that? Like what was it?
I worked with character education, drug education, human rights stuff.
Okay. So that's some deep stuff. Okay.
Yeah, pretty intense. So I mean that's important to me, and so I didn't want to give that up. So I had one full-time job there, and I had a second full-time job with my business. And so I had 2 full-time jobs, about 80 hours a week.
And you're starting from the ground up with your business, right?
Yeah, I started from nowhere. But within, by the time we actually sold that business in St. Louis, we did that for 10 years, and then we were up to like $500,000 a year or whatever. It was something, it kept me going. Paid my staff. I had paid staff out of that, right?
Yeah, you got to keep going to pay those folks for sure. Keep that ball rolling, dude.
All the stuff, right?
Sure.
But it was really rough. It was way too much. I 80 hours a week and all that, and really wasn't enough to show for it. Really, as a result, you walked away with whatever paycheck I walked away with, which was okay, but it wasn't. It was a lot of stress and not enough reward. So we moved down here to Clearwater, and I made a big shift. I sold that business. I kept doing the nonprofit work, but I basically I came down here to Clearwater. I actually outsourced my nonprofit work. I started outsourcing my nonprofit work. I no longer had physical employees in my office. I had remote employees, freelancers,
okay,
and people from the Philippines, what have you. So I grew my marketing company, and then about a year or so into it, I'm like, oh, this is great. I've learned so much over the last 20 some years. I'm just going to open a virtual assistant business as well, which is remote personnel. And
you get things done, Barry. Damn. All right. So where do we go from here?
So basically, what I did is I had this. So I started this company with remote personnel. I started putting them in charge of more and more things and giving them more responsibilities. And we use virtual personnel at both my companies to grow those 2 companies. We use, my people are all from the Philippines. They speak great English.
So when you say grow your companies, you're talking like marketing, bookkeeping, like all of the divisions that would come with a company.
Everything, you know, everything.
Wow.
I mean, first off, and I outsource things that I shouldn't be spending time doing, right? Like, for instance, I used to do a lot of my own lead generation personally. Personally, I would do the lead generation to put people in front of me so I could talk to them about their business and how to help them. And
Okay.
the
Wow.
very first thing I outsourced was that because I was really good at it. So I wrote up those processes and the various things I did, and I assigned people to do that for me. So instead of me spending time looking for people, I was spent time talking to people. And so I got rid of that whole piece of work, right? That huge amount of work that I have to spend every that I spent every day doing that, and got it to another person doing it so I could spend on those key things that I need to do. Like there's this principle from this horticulturist and economic guy. His name is Parodi, Parodi, I believe it is.
Parody. Okay.
Parodi principle, or I think it's what I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's the 80-20 principle. And it talks about like how 80% of the results come from 20% of your efforts, right?
Wow.
So what are the
Okay.
key things that you could do? What are those key 20% that you should be spending time on that would expand things tremendously?
So
I
why
start
why did you? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just gotta know, like, why if you're really good at the lead generation, why was that the first thing you outsourced?
because basically I need to be spending more time talking to people because if I'm doing the
Okay.
lead generation, then I'm talking to maybe, you know, 3 people a day, right?
Yeah, you need the conversation, the
Yeah,
back and forth. Yeah,
yeah,
I understand that.
I'm talking to 3 people a day. Where now, if I've got somebody else doing the lead generation, I can talk to 7. You know, so all of a sudden, I've you know
Yeah, you
more than doubled.
maximized.
Yeah, more
Wow.
than doubled the number of people I'm talking to. So that's that 80-20 principle. So I took this key function and I put it over here and taught somebody else how to do it, so I could do the even more senior function of talking to people and turn those people into customers.
It's funny that you say that. I've met with so many great people
Mhm.
over the last 2 years, and I've had a few fellows that are have much more experience in having their own business than me that have told me that, like, yeah, you need to find a way to outsource some things, eventually hire some employees to take care of like ad sales and social media, so you can do this back and forth because
Yeah.
that's what I love doing. I mean, that's the whole deal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I know a great way that you could use this to expand what you're doing, you know, but like, and there's ways that we've done it for people. But like, just to tell you, like, to give you like there's 2 ways I apply the 80-20 principle. Remember, it's like 80% of the results come from 20% of the efforts, right?
Mhm.
So these small amount of efforts are the key things that you do that result in the big results, right? So what are those? You know, it also means like there's 80% of the things you're doing that you could probably just get rid of and you'd be okay, right?
Sure.
So 2 ways that I apply that is these key things. What can I do to get somebody to back me up so I can do more of those key things?
When you say back you up, you mean financially?
No, I mean like back me up with work. Like work I need other people to do that help me to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Like so, if I
Yeah,
like,
like a
I'm
virtual
running.
assistant.
Yeah, exactly. So I got this. I'm really good with. I like meeting people, helping them, and helping and giving them solutions. Which
Amen, brother.
yeah, and so like, and they can get that help and those solutions from me, and I can give them a virtual assistant. So I need to talk to more people. So I don't need to talk to 3 people. I need to put somebody on lead generation, working within my business very inexpensively, because that's what we do. We provide real inexpensive help,
Hmm.
and those people that are, I mean, they're making great wage for their country, but they're really
Oh, I see.
inexpensive for us, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but for their country, we're helping them support a family, right?
That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah,
That's important.
yeah, yeah. And so, but for us, it's like 10. I can get you people a virtual assistant for $10 an hour. So
Yeah, and no one's making the rent on that, man. No,
not
not
here
around
for
here.
us, but over there, they're actually paying for it for several people,
That's
right?
amazing. So you've gone multinational
Yeah,
almost. You've gone to different countries and worked through their economic scale.
yeah. We should use their economic scale. So we leverage. We basically are helping them to make money that can help support a whole family. But for
That's
us,
awesome.
it fits in well with our economic system. We're able to help them. And so, but I've taken this $10 an hour person. Now I put them on to helping me with lead generation tasks so I can more than double the people that I'm meeting. And then,
Wow.
yeah, and then that 80%, that stuff I had to throw away that I shouldn't be spending my time on,
Yeah.
some of that stuff has to get done.
Some of it
So,
probably does. Yeah.
right. Like bookkeeping, for example. I don't ask me to do bookkeeping, but because I don't like
Oh,
it. And
yeah, I hear you, man. QuickBooks and yeah, no
but
thanks.
but there are people that love it. They love crunching numbers.
I know,
So
right? Those
I
weirdos. I don't get it. I don't get it.
so I basically
All the
like
power to them.
yeah, exactly. So I have like guys from the Philippines that we plug in on those tasks.
That's great.
Now I've got those tasks being done still because they have to be done.
And you're
And
overseeing things though still, right? You're seeing like the progress that's being made maybe in marketing or in bookkeeping or making sure the bills are paid. Like you got to feel a hand on there, right?
yeah, and I've got yeah, I make that. They all help me update and maintain reports in different areas so I
Perfect.
can see what's happening, and they keep the reports concise so that I can, and I can keep my thumb on the pulse of all the different parts of the organization.
Yeah.
And I at this point, I have like from the point where I moved down to Clearwater to where I am now, which is about 7 years. I've now got about 90 staff.
90 staff and they're all in the Philippines?
Well, a bunch of them are in the Philippines, and some of them are in some of them are in India, and
And
the
wow.
rest are right here.
Let me know if this is going too deep too into the secret sauce, but is
Go
it
ahead.
like is it like a W-2? Is it a 1099? Like how the hell
No,
how does that
yeah,
work?
they're freelancers. They're overseas freelancers. So they basically like what people do is they pay me for the service
Mhm.
because one of the things you have to do is you have to like make sure you find high quality people, right? So there's
Always in anything, yeah.
yeah, it's like it's really important. So we have all these tests that we do. We have like, we put people through, a couple hours worth of testing. We do
Wow.
basically extensive interviews to make sure we find the best of the best, right? Within this over in, overseas. And then we're
That's got to be tricky.
well, it just takes work, so I've got several people that's their full-time job is to interview and look at
Oh, okay.
applicants.
The hiring, yeah, hiring manager, sure.
Yeah, but they're hiring people for my customers,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
we're then plugging my people into their business, and then yeah,
Wow,
so
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
genius. I've
yeah,
never thought of it scaling a business that way. Like you have, it's so simple if you think about it, though. It's just like, we'll just put a person that's not me, that's qualified into the role that needs to be filled, right?
yeah, exactly. Like if you're doing, I mean, like it'd be perfect for you because you could, we have a whole, and what part of what I do too is I figure out how to do things and then I train them on how to do it. Like for instance, and I have fun figuring out how to do things. And I have other people that also work within my team who figure out how to do things. Like
Sure.
I have one girl, she's great with Chat GPT, and she understands prompts like crazy. So
Oh, it's great.
trains the
ChatGPT just wrote my contracts for me.
yeah. So basically, so she understands prompts and all that, right? So she's basically her job is to train other staff on that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we have one person. All she does is write up successful processes. Like I have a really simple successful process where I could get you like anywhere from 5 to 12 appointments a week with
Wow.
people that you want to talk to that are in your target audience.
No, it's interesting because I'm using a platform, and maybe I shouldn't have bought this, but at the time I was like, I have no idea because I'm not like I can sell things to people,
Mhm.
but finding leads and like I've never worked specifically in sales. I sold like New England Patriots tickets and Celtics tickets at a broker, but other than that, I needed a way to find leads, so I bought Seamless.io. It's a platform that gives you leads.
Seamless, it's like it basically finds people for you. It like goes through and finds names and all that, right?
Right, contacts, yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't really ventured into it too much,
How
but
how
like
much is Seamless? I'm curious.
so I don't know. They wanted to charge like 10 grand or something like that for the platform. I talked them down to 3.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I thought was for a year's worth, and with all the leads that I could get with it, I thought that was doable. But
Sure.
honestly, I didn't totally know what I was doing. It just felt right because
How many how many
you know,
people have you talked to as a result of buying it?
at this point, so I'm just at that point right now where we're gonna start using Seamless.
And
Um, and
okay.
I've only discussed, I mean, I've reached out to BetterHelp. I've reached out to, we did an ad campaign for DO speakers and DO technologies. That was big. But right now, now that we're organized, now that I have everyone under the same distribution and everyone's on a contract and all the little things are kind of filled, like the social media, everything is kind of automated. Now it's time for me to look for leads, which is actually perfect timing, Barry.
We
Perfect
have a whole
timing for this thing, man.
Well, we have a whole appointment making process, right? And I perfected it and I wrote it up as training, which we train our appointment setters on. So our appointment setters are able to, so this is what we do for our clients. We come up, we develop processes, we train our guys on it, or we make that training available so that your VA can then learn these different things. And there's so much training out there. It's like I was having trouble with the task. It was taking me it took me several weeks. I was having trouble figuring it out. Another person can figure it out. I was like, I didn't have time to really figure it out. So I
Oh, it's the
basically,
worst when you hit the wall, right? It's just
uh,
like,
it was
on
mainly
to the next thing. I'll come back to it.
it was time, and then
Yeah.
and their help files were awful, right? For this
Oh,
program we were trying to figure out.
okay.
And so what I did is I went and I found a really good course that looked like it taught the subject really well. I said, oh, perfect. Spent $20, gave it to my VA, said, great, study this. I knew she was super bright. She had it handled before I got up in the morning.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's like, if
That's
you got to,
great. That
it's
exists, Barry. Barry, you telling me it's that simple that exists? I
that
haven't found simplicity in 2 years. I'm starting to see it on the horizon, though. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, it starts with who, right? The right person, which we care for.
Hmm.
And then we have all sorts of great advice on how to, plug in training or we can find simple training on just about anything.
So, do you teach people how to do it? Do you sell a course? How do you
What we do
what do you
is
do?
what we do is we basically, by the way, the name of the company is called Free Time Solutions.
Free time solutions.
And
Cool. I'll get that up there for you.
the whole idea of the company is to basically, um, help you free up time, right? From the things you shouldn't be doing to the
Great
key
name.
things that you should be doing. And then what we do is we find you a person who kind of who's the kind of person you need for whatever task that you have in mind. And then what we do is we help onboard that person, get them doing your tasks, and then we kind of coach you along the way. We coach them along the way to make sure that you're a great team,
Hmm.
and that they're just jamming, getting your stuff done, and they're like, okay, I got that under control. I got room for more stuff. And then we have this little booklet, 249 things that a virtual assistant can do for you. And you can go through there and figure out what else you want that person to do, and we can help them to learn that, whether some way, with through training that we might have available, and then and away we go. And you start building up your team, and we have people that have now, four, or five, or even six virtual assistants that are working for them in different aspects from our team, um, just getting stuff done, growing their business.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something I definitely want to talk to you offline about for
Yeah,
sure. I'd love to learn more about the itero-sync. It's the little things, I
yeah,
guess I should say, because
yeah.
yeah, I right now with blind knowledge, we are turning a curve finally where we're gonna have ad campaigns. Now I can actually have ad campaigns because we have everyone together. Um, Now I got to land them. Now I got to actually make it happen. which I've done in the past. And I don't have a ton of experience doing it, but I know how to do it. I have the templates to do it. I have the walkthroughs to do it. And just I'm going to knock on wood and not drink that day, and hopefully it'll all go well.
Yeah,
But if not, I'm going to need like someone to do ad sales. So maybe a virtual assistant doing that. I mean, that might be where I have to start too. Would you recommend that for someone like me in my stage of development?
absolutely. I mean, you should just see people, like if you, I mean, I don't know, like if I don't know what your revenue, how you charge for your service or anything, but like hopefully it's like monthly where you're making money monthly off of whatever it is you're selling, and you're getting the same income from that client every month. But given that, then you really need to see more people.
Yeah.
So a skilled appointment setter who can reach out to the right target audience, and
It's the
basically,
right people too, Barry.
yeah,
Because there's
yeah,
only so many hours in the day, and I'll talk all day and then listen all day and do the meetings and shake the hands, but it's got to be the right people, you know?
yeah, yeah. Well, I meet people all day. I mean, I just basically my appointment setter. I network with people all day long, right?
Same
So
here.
like
Yeah,
that's
same
why
here.
half my days meeting brand new people, but I make sure I meet business owners 100%. And then I like a certain type of business owner, so we zero in a little bit.
Mm.
Um, so but but it's pretty broad field, and I meet people from coast to coast all day long. I spend probably more than half my time meeting people and the other half my time running the business and creating on the business, and so I'm meeting like 7 people a day or whatever. Um, but it's great, It's like it's so much fun to meet people, and then I tell them about what I do. I find out about what they do, and then there's a certain percentage of those people, and you got to make friends. I mean, I like the kind of sales, if you want to call it that way, where you make a friend first, and then you kind of like then you go from there, right? You get to be
Yeah, you make it mutually
yeah.
beneficial.
There's some sort of relationship
Yeah,
there.
there's a relationship built for
And,
sure. That's when it's smooth for sure.
yeah, and then you tell them all about what they do and what you do, and at some point they say, I'd like to find out more about that, like, and you go, great, and then from there it turns into a sale as well.
And for me, Barry, I'm finding that I only want to work with people, and I can recognize it really quickly nowadays with good character. It's really important to me.
Yeah, that's good.
I can really spot a black eye or a just like someone that's just I don't know if I trust that person. And if I get that inkling, I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, that's yeah, I agree. That was actually one of the nonprofits I used to work with, was in character education. And so,
Oh,
yeah, it's funny because sometimes you run into staff that need help, and so I actually use my nonprofit stuff to help staff that need to kind of
that's so cool.
get back on the right road personally, because people are basically good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But
90%, 95%, but there are some scumbags and there are some people, some
yeah,
snakes that'll
yeah,
just they'll take your ideas, or they'll just take up your time,
yeah,
or they'll
that's
put
right.
you down, or they're very negative, and I don't work well with that. It's just
Yeah,
if the vibe doesn't connect and there's nothing mutually beneficial, then we're wasting our time kind of
yeah,
thing.
no, it's true. It's no, I think it's super important. I mean, people can change too. That's the more important thing too. We
Yeah,
test.
it's true.
It's funny. We do a lot of testing with people that helps us to find out their problem solving abilities, their ability to follow instructions. We do some testing that helps look at their character a bit, and
Like
if we can,
personality testing and like
yeah,
litmus testing
yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Wow.
do all that, and then if we find that person isn't a fit because of one of those problems, we actually we send them to some resources like character education program that I have,
That's very cool.
which so they can like improve
Growth.
themselves. So
Yeah, growth.
yeah,
Because people, you're right. People
yeah,
do change over time. Like we've all been through ups and downs, and
yeah,
maybe have done things we don't, or maybe we regret or wish we didn't do or wish we didn't say at the time. And
right,
it's all a learning experience. And I'm learning for 29 minutes into this interview. I'm learning like a lot. This 80/20 thing is blowing my mind,
yeah. The
especially.
80/20 principle is amazing. There's a great book on it by Richard Koch, Koch,
Okay.
called the 80-20 principle.
I'll write it down in my handy dandy
Yeah.
legal pad, dude.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great book. It really gets into this, like, this whole concept of, yeah, it's like, it's pretty wild because, 80% of the problems in the world are also caused by 20% of the people.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, the world is really made a much better place by about 20% of the people too. 80% of the good things
Yeah.
happening in our culture are coming from about 20%. So you got like this, you got the 20% on both sides of things, right? And
It's the people that make a difference. Like I'm learning that the people, that 20% of the people that want to collaborate, that want to create, that
right.
want to get their voice and their good stuff out there for the people, and
Yeah, that's right.
and want to put the effort in. But I want to spin it back real quick, Barry, to books. You have a book, correct? Let's talk about that real quick.
We got this little ebook so far, and I got another one that I'm writing. The ebook is the 249 things that a virtual assistant can do for you. And
Now, is this it right here?
that's it right there. Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah, and then I'm writing another one called World's Greatest Assistant. But this book you can get right now. This is a little ebook that I put together. It's 249 things that a virtual assistant can do for you.
Very cool.
And it lists out everything. I mean, just basically look through it, and you kind of get all the ideas of what, how you could utilize somebody to get them to help you. And
Yeah.
that's at that link, that freetime.solutions/downloads. That's right there. Yeah, that's where they can get it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And you wrote it. This is from your experiences?
I put that together. Yeah, I put that together as a pretty extensive list. And it probably could be longer, but that'll be for version 2.
I'll fill mine out later. But also we should show some love, a little bit of love, because you do have this production company with the books. I believe you have a counterpart who has a book as well. Maybe we should plug her book a bit.
Yeah, my wife. She was because I was able to outsource so many things. She was a sales coach at Inc. 500 company.
Oh wow!
And so she was doing that. She established their sales coaching division. She was doing great, but because I was doing so well with what I was doing, because I was growing the business, we were able to actually a little over a year ago take her out of her job so she could write full time. And so she came home and she started writing. Now she's a graphic designer, web designer, copywriter. She does it all.
Wow.
She runs her ad campaigns, everything, and she writes Regency historical romance,
which is totally different from anything we're talking about right now.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, and you do have the production company, which is actually another accolade.
Yeah. It's illegal helping authors, because we've got a whole process there on how to take a book and get it out there.
I was just gonna say, you must have virtual assistants that just do it, right?
Now she has virtual assistants now.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
One of the things that we use at the company is a thing called an SOP. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure.
Mm-hmm.
So we write up SOPs for different processes within the business. So my wife has started developing these SOPs. We started developing SOPs for all the different pieces associated with publishing a book.
So the workflow, the entire from A to Z.
All the pieces of the workflow. And these SOPs are how we train our people on how to do different things. So we put them through training. We then apprentice them with somebody.
So it sounds very meticulous, very on paper, step by step, the way it really should be done.
That's right. Yeah, well, yeah, it takes that. It's like we go through a whole process of training people for their job. We invest in the people that work for us. And that's the other thing I could recommend is, like, I mean, it's who, right? It's taking the time to train them. It's taking time to write up those processes, right? Mm-hmm. These are like 3 key things that you just have to do if you want to grow a business,
Yeah, and someone's got to do the work, and it's almost impossible for one person to do all of this, especially in any kind of time where you can pull revenue that's profitable.
That's right. Yeah.
So really, it does make a ton of sense. I'm booking a free strategy session right now. Look at this. No, this is very cool, and I hope we really helped out a lot of the audience out there too, because I bet you most people have not heard of virtual assistants, or if they did, maybe thought it was like an AI or like a bot.
Or they might have had a bad experience because, and we go back to that if you, I mean, it
Yeah.
takes a lot of work to do all that testing and really screen
Yeah.
through all those.
Yeah, and to have the meticulous make the workflows and make like
Yeah,
the guidebooks and really just to let go and have trust that someone else will be able to do it and do it well.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Did you find that was a challenge at all, or
it,
are you just like take it, take it away from me?
I mean, sometimes it's that you have to let people do their thing.
Sure,
Busy,
sure.
but then you can also we handle that with apprenticeships, right? It's like after we train somebody, we put them underneath somebody who's successful
That makes
already,
sense. That
and
makes sense.
and have that person coach them. And then we started with a good person to begin with. We started with somebody with a high IQ, great aptitude, all those skills.
Yeah, you learn from example and
We
experience.
started with good raw materials, right? Then we actually gave them a great example, and then we manage them on a daily basis, and we coach and correct them as needed.
Mm.
So it's like that's how you make, it's like when you think about it, like a pros out there in the world, they go to practice, they go to spring training,
When
right?
I play guitar, my man, I've been playing guitar for over 20 years. I still look up things. I still look to learn things. I might even take a lesson sometimes.
It's great. No, that's exactly right. Like I said early in the beginning, I do personal development every weekend.
Yes,
So I'm
yeah.
constantly working on myself.
And it's more than swimming, right?
Yeah, no, it's not I exercise every day, but that's not what I'm talking about, like right here, It's like, I mean,
Yes.
I'm reading, I'm like,
The zen, like
yeah,
kind of disconnecting in a way.
yeah, I'm studying, and then I do the morning thing, the exercise, I disconnect every day, every single day, but then I also like dig in and I study.
Yeah.
I study and I practice my various skills and I get better at it.
Barry, this has been amazing. I had no idea that this interview was just going to be like so informative. I really appreciate you coming on, man. This is great.
Thanks, yeah, thanks for
If you could break it down, so can you name all of your businesses for us, just so we know how awesome virtual assistance has actually been for you?
Sure. Stampede Branding. It's my marketing company. We got two virtual assistant companies, Team Builders and Free Time Solutions. Rogue Press, which is our publishing company, and then we also have a small vitamin company on the side. But that's with my mother-in-law. We help her. It's called Sunshine Vitamins,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
she's got a virtual assistant too.
That's amazing. So once you figure out how to get to A to Z, and let me ask you this actually, are you always the one to figure that out, like how to get to A to Z, and then it gets passed down to a virtual assistant, or is it kind of like a
No, no, you gotta teach other people how to do that too, so
yeah?
that they can, because otherwise, the way
Because then
to,
you're back in it, right? You're not the
yeah,
20%.
the only way to expand is to come up with, sometimes there's great books that I've read that I have people read. Sometimes there's processes we write up. There's apprenticeships. There's leading by example, showing people how to do things. But
Yeah.
you have to like teach other people how to do those functions too. Like we just started really just training and bringing on salespeople. So now we've got a number of salespeople within the organization. Besides, I'm not the only person meeting and selling people things.
Right, right. So
Um,
you're expanding in that aspect as well.
so yeah, because you basically have to like train people on these different things so that they can take over the work.
Dude, thank you for coming on, Barry. This
Thank
was
you.
killer. This was killer, man. And by killer, I mean super awesome, super awesome. If you want to get in touch with Barry, I'm just gonna throw up your LinkedIn here, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. There's another place you can reach me on LinkedIn.
Barry Coziahr, not Desire, but you will desire him. Barry Coziahr. He is on LinkedIn. I'm so glad we actually finally got the time. I knew there was some back and forth scheduling, but we made it happen.
Yep.
I am definitely going to look to get some kind of coaching or some consultation or just a meeting with you as well offline. And I would recommend anybody else out there that's looking to streamline, is interested in virtual assistants, interested in anything we touched on in this interview, definitely contact Barry. Hey, you can contact me and I'll get you in touch with Barry. I don't mind at all.
Thanks.
I'll swing you right over there. Not a problem at all. Barry, anything else you want to leave us with?
No, this is great. I mean, yeah, Greg. Hey, the only safe thing to do in life is expand. So, however you're doing it, do it.
Unless it's the belly. The belly shouldn't expand too much. But the business should. The business definitely should, man. Barry, this was so enjoyable, man. Thank you so much for coming on. And we'll talk to you soon.
Great question. All right.
Thanks, man. Yo, that was cool, man. Barry Coziahr, who knew? Branding, virtual assistants. I was taking notes. I hope you guys were taking notes too. This is like this is a 101, a 201, and a 400 level class, dude. But definitely check him out. He's on LinkedIn, Barry Coziahr. Definitely check in freetime.solutions/downloads, or just go to freetime.solutions. Just Google freetime.solutions. You'll find it. And if you can't find it, just ring me and I'll get you there. And that kind of wraps up our interview for the day. My name is Joey B, and I will catch you later. Have a good one. Peace.